Creamer Media's Mining Weekly is speaking to Kirsten Hunt, the head of carbon neutrality for the De Beers Group. Kirsten, your group has taken 12 ambitious goals. Can you speak to us about those around carbon neutrality?
Our carbon neutral strategy on getting to carbon neutral by 2030 is focused on reduce, replace, recover. So reduce in sense of reducing our energy use and becoming much more efficient across our operations with all the technology we use, etc. Replace, as in replacing the fossil fuels that we use, both in terms of the fossil fuel that we use in all the equipment, the cars, but also all the machinery, etc. And replacing the fossil fuel-based electricity that we use by clean energy. And then lastly, the recover bit, which is really the very last bit, we hope, that of everything that we cannot replace and reduce, is recovering the remaining carbon emissions. Through carbon absorption programs like the Carbon Vault program, we can get into that, which is a research program that looks into the absorption capacity of kimberlite tailings and what we can do there, but also through, for example, investment in nature. De Beers has very large conservation properties that we own, and really looking at, okay, how can we find co-benefits where those areas both serve conservation of the regions, but also community development and climate benefits through protecting against deforestation or looking at climate smart agriculture and those kind of things that we're looking at.
So let's go back to the first one, reduce.
The aim is to reduce 30% of our energy intensity by 2030 compared to 2016. And a lot of work has been done to analyze a lot of the equipment we use, a lot of the energy we use, and to work towards energy efficiency. And a lot of gain has already been made there in becoming much more efficient in our operations. That's probably the one that was most advanced upon my arrival, also because we have very clear company targets set there.
Replace is key. What are you going to do about renewable power?
We have identified 13 high-level projects focusing mostly on the replace part, which should get us within, I should say, 80% of our carbon neutral goal. And they're really focused on installing solar at some of our mines, notably in South Africa and Botswana. We're very much looking at wind in Namibia, which has a massive wind potential. So we're in quite advanced feasibility studies, I should say, at some of our mines to really look at how to get there. And the idea is then to do that in partnership with others, and to also to see if in some cases if we can then sell or give that electricity back into the grid for the part that we're not going to be using overnight. So we're really looking to work on this in partnership with the governments where we operate. But yes, definitely, installing and developing clean energy is going to be a crucial part of our low carbon or carbon neutral strategy.
Carbon Vault really fascinates me because the diamonds come from the kimberlite, and now the carbon may go back to the kimberlite. But it's kimberlite tailings. How do you do that?
Mineral carbonation is in itself a natural process where rocks basically react with the CO2, the carbon dioxide, in the atmosphere, and lock it away within the rocks, within the carbonated materials. Kimberlite rock in the case of diamond mines. This happens everywhere, but extremely slowly in most rocks. But kimberlite has very specific characteristics. They're called ultramafic. They're a very rare rocks. It's about 1% of the Earth's surface. But they're found in abundance in diamond mines because kimberlites are these ultramafic rocks. So this means they have an extraordinary capacity to absorb more carbon than other rocks. This mineral carbonation of these kimberlite rocks is rapid compared to other rocks, but it's still obviously too slow if we're really talking about making a dent into the carbon emissions. So what we're doing is we're doing research into we're working closely with a group of universities into different methodologies that could speed up this process and could help then offset man-made emissions, notably the ones, or part of the ones from our mines. part of it is that they're sort of looking at methodologies to break up the rocks and increase the surface that they're on, and thereby increasing their exposure to CO2. We're looking at using special microbes and algae to enhance the carbonation. A lot of it has now happened in lab-like situations, so in small scale, and we're really looking at this year, seeing if we can test this in a much larger scale on our mine sites in Venetia, in Canada, possibly also in Botswana, to really look at, okay, what can we do at scale to capture the carbon in these kimberlite rocks at a fairly large scale, and see how we can go there from there.
You've got Gastroquy in Canada. What are you going to do there?
It's a very remote mine, which is mostly powered by diesel. At the moment, we're very much focusing on efficiency. We're looking, for example, at biofuels. Part of that is going to be part of the solution.
That was Trima Media's Mining Weekly, speaking to Kirsten Hunt, the head of carbon neutrality at the De Beers Group.